Welcome to Backroad Driver. I'm Brad.
I'm Sam.
And in the show, we bring you behind the scenes of everything we do on the channel. We talk about our past videos, we talk about projects we're working on, and what's coming down the pike. So let's jump right in. Today, we want to talk about what happened in our last video. If you haven't seen that, we're going to try to put a card right here now, and then we'll also put this in the link in the description. It'll be right up top so you can click on it, but you know what's coming. Sam got 4 tires off of the side of the ramp on the interstate the other day.
It was fun.
It was fun for him. I was actually filming, so when you watch the video, it's a little bit of a clickbait title. We went back and forth on that. We've kind of stayed out of the clickbait until now, but it said my brother wrecked my truck, and technically
I did.
The tires got wrecked a little bit, and he was, what, I don't know, another 2 seconds away from being in the bank.
It was close. It was real close to being probably a big alignment or a wheel getting tore up or bending something on the
I was
front end.
shocked that the tires didn't get rashed up on that whole side, because where he went in, there's like 6 inches deep of dirt and mud just slung off to the side, like it just plowed up in there. So definitely check that video out. That was on the way to the drag strip. That was our first drag experience. It was awesome. We'll talk a little, let's go into depth about that just a little bit. So how old are you?
I'm 42.
42 years old, never been to a drag strip. I'm 36, never been to a drag strip. We've obviously watched drag stuff on YouTube for forever. What's your impression of that experience so far?
It's a lot more adrenaline than I thought I would get. It's fun. I liked that there was no pressure. It wasn't a high pressure environment. You just loop around, get right back on that evening. Very good experience for a first time drive at the track. And you know, we've driven supercars on a road track or whatever, and that's more intense.
The speeds are higher.
The speeds are higher, and I guess you're driving somebody else's supercar, and you've got somebody in there with you trying to tell you what to do. But at the drag strip, it's just you.
A bunch of buttons.
A bunch of buttons. You got to get all your settings right, and so we got to get all the cameras going, and
that's what I was going to say. So yeah. Cameras we had, and you can watch that video. It's the same video Sam almost put the truck into the bank on. We had a 5-camera setup, which when we film that way, we end up having to edit a lot. It's a lot longer process to edit when you've got that many cameras getting footage to go through and to try to catch up with what's what and get it all in the right order. But we have to get all those cameras going, not too soon, or we have all this extra footage that we don't need. And then all the buttons, like in his truck, he had like 5 things he had to do, and I had a bunch of stuff to do in mine. But then when we swap trucks, it's not the same process. He's got a 2-wheel drive truck that has to have the locker pulled out. I don't even know that I pulled the locker out. Like, I spun, and I got beat because I spun in his truck, and I probably didn't even pull the locker out. I need to go back and check that out.
Yeah, it's just a turn.
You don't pull out on yours? Okay, well, I think I got it in that then. But anyway, it's a lot to do when you're just drag racing. When you're videoing, it's a whole nother level of that, and you're trying to look cool and not look stupid at the same time.
Yeah,
that's hard to do. Check that video out down in the description. We want to go ahead and remind you, and we'll only do this one time, go ahead and hit subscribe on this channel, and then there's a notification bell. That's where after you hit that, it'll have like a bell with a little line through it, I think, and you can click on that and turn it to all notifications. It may say you need to turn notifications on your device. Do that for us. That way when we put out our next video, you'll get a notification on your phone and be able to click on it right away, or it'll be there when you're ready to watch it. So take care of that for us. While we're filming this, we just hit 600 subscribers, so pumped about that. We got big goals, much bigger than that. So help us out and hit the button.
So I guess they noticed while we were at the drag strip on the takeoff, there was a lot of wheel hop, bouncing, bucking. And that was only in for all.
On the Wolf.
On the Wolf. And
notice his didn't bounce at all.
Mine just spins.
He's got a 2-inch level set up in the front as well. He had different tires. It's a whole different ball game on the way his stuff's set up. But he didn't have a hop problem. I've got a hop problem when it's in for all, and I can't even put it in 4 high because I know y'all about to hit the comments and say, don't do that, it's bad for everything. I know, but I like to go fast. We did a bunch of mods and got it to where 4 high was awesome down the track or down the road in Mexico. But when we changed the gearing out to 488, it changed the dynamic of that completely again. And so having to take all this increased, I guess the torque curve changed. It's all up front now, or in the beginning, we're having to add more traction stuff. So we got some other stuff on the way. Let's go ahead and talk about that. We've got B Woody coming and kind of explain. They'll see in the next couple of videos. I don't want to commit to exactly when because getting parts during a pandemic has been ridiculous.
Yeah. So the new part is going to mount to the rear diff. We're going to have to do some modifications. It's built to go on a factory diff cover, but we've got the B&M aftermarket one with some fins. We're going to have to grind down, cut off to make it a clean mating surface, but it mounts to the back of that, and then there's a kind of like a shock absorber.
I think it's a Viking brand shock that B Woody puts on there.
Spring, something like that, and it runs back to a mounting point. So
into the frame.
So what that's going to do is we're going to have the Caltracs trying to stop the rear end from flexing this way, and up here we're going to have this new thing from B Woody trying to stop it from going this way. So this is how it twists. So we're going to be adding another layer of anti-wrap back there, see what happens. We hope that we can hook and book and put down some power.
That's right. If you want to see the video where we got the Caltracs installed, I think it's called curing wheel hop, or getting rid of wheel hop or whatever, I'll put a card up here again. I can put to a video, and then I'll put a link down in the description here, but it'll show you how, if you don't have some ridiculously tall gear like my 488s, you can just put the Caltracs traction bars on.
Yep.
And your problems go from terrible, because you can see it before with just the supercharger and without the traction bars, and then an after when we got those on, and how much it just sits down and goes without all that bounce. So most people aren't, hardly anybody's going to have the 488 gearing problem that we've got to be able to put that much down without bouncing. So let's talk about the device we used in that last video, because when we got there, we didn't know what to expect.
Right. There were no trees set up. There was no timing set up. It was an arm
drop and
go, and you didn't get a time. So we used the Dragy, D-R-A-G-Y. This little guy hooks up to Bluetooth to an app on your phone, and it hooks up to a ton of satellites, as many satellites as it can, to be as precise as possible. And
magnetic on the back. So in our trucks, we both have the sunroof, which isn't the best for drag racing because it puts weight on the top of the vehicle, but we're able just to stick it up in onto that metal on the sunroof, and it'll
work. It'll work sitting in the cup holder. In reality, you kind of want to have it mounted somewhere, but anyway, this thing will run your 0-60 times, eighth, quarter, 60 to you can set up all kinds of parameters that it will automatically detect, and it is highly accurate. There's a ton of videos out there, people running these at the track with the tree, and we're talking hundreds of difference,
it's
thousands of difference,
yeah,
not
like
hundreds. Excuse me.
It's very, very accurate. The cool thing is you don't have a screen on this. The screen is your cell phone. So you download the app, you buy this device, and we've got a link down in the description. If you buy it through that link, we'll make, I don't know, a couple, $3 or $4. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's an affiliate link. We make a few bucks, and you get to test that out. I'll go ahead and put a picture of the data that you get from the phone on the screen now, and that will show you, if you see here, it looks really neat in the way that it lays the data out. You can click on just about anything and go into more depth and see more detailed times. It keeps as many, I don't know how many runs it'll keep, but it's more than you'll probably ever do.
Just keeps going.
It dates them. It has the density altitude for every single run, and which is tells if you're at sea level and there's no humidity, I guess the DA would be 0. If you're up on the plateau in Cumberland County over in Crossville like we were,
Tennessee,
and it's muggy, then we had was it 6,500 DA in that when we were running.
Terrible. Yeah, I can't remember now.
It was 6,500 or 5,600 DA, and so it was hot, muggy, and we were elevated at like 1,775 feet, I think is what that track sets at. So we were already in a high heat situation, but it tracks all that, but it also does the slope. So if you run if you're trying to get your 0 to 60 and you want to test a part before and after and see what actually happened, this will actually test slope. So it'll tell you if it's verified or not based off of, are you running uphill, like upslope, are you running downslope, are you running flat, and anything, is it within...
Over 1% up or down, it rejects it.
Yep.
So you've got to be on a flat spot in Mexico or at the track.
You can do it on any grade. It's not going, there's a whole community behind this device where you can upload your times, and other people that have, I guess there's different groups you can get in, and you can basically have little competitions, and you do your runs wherever you're at.
Based off of different vehicles. If you've got a, you know, it's got every kind of vehicle there is.
So if you've got a certain car and you want to see what other people are doing, you can go and see what their times are on Dragy, and it's a huge community, but then you can compete against them with your Dragy, but your DA, you can see what they ran in, you can see what you're running in, but your grade has to be somewhat good. So if you're like we are in Tennessee, it's very hard to find a quarter mile that doesn't have more than a 1% grade. Matter of fact, we know, other than drag strips, and we don't have a quarter mile drag strip in East Tennessee unless we go all the way up to Bristol. But we know of one spot that you can run a quarter.
Besides the interstate, and that's
stupid.
That's not
to take off from a stop. You can't stop on the interstate. So if you want to check that out with our affiliate link below, and that'll even tell you more about it once you get on there, but that's through Amazon, so check that out. It may be something you're interested in. Let's talk about the more behind the scenes stuff. This show was in response to, every time we do a video, it has to be very topical, very niche down, and about something very specific, and we wanted a way to be able to talk about all these other little detailed things once a week and not have to cram them in a video where they don't fit really well. And if you're somebody who loves our content, then this is probably something you'll want to catch every week, because you'll get a little review about what we've done and about what we're going to do. And I know we didn't have this planned today, Sam, but I want to talk about let's just kind of shoot on the video we're talking about making next with the Wolf, because I had a bunch of leftover somethings in my garage, some extra spares.
Might get a little smoky.
It might be sticky. There might be couple changes, like wardrobe changes, I guess. Changed the shoes a few times in the video. That's coming down the pike. So that's another reason to get that notification bell turned on, so that you'll be able to see that. But I
just don't think everything will be as wide as it has been in the past.
Might be skinny.
Yeah.
So comment down below if you think you know what that video is going to be about. I do want to mention something. We did and you still got a chance to do this. In our last video, the drag strip video, I put something at the very, very end, and I mean in the last 6 seconds. And if you catch that, those are going to start popping up in our videos. And if you catch that at the very, very, very end, and I may even mix it up, I may put it in the middle sometimes, but if you catch that, there'll be a word that you can comment in the description or in the comments to be able to win something. So right now, when this goes out, I'll probably cut this off in just a few days. You'll still have a chance to go watch that video and make that comment to be able to enter to win some free Backroad driver merch. We'll get into merch in the next episode next week, maybe the one after, but we're working on some stuff for you guys to be able to buy some swag and have some gear, and us have some things to give away for your support. We do really appreciate that. And the channel's growing. It's actually starting to take off now, and I'm kind of pumped about that. What's fun, and I do want to talk about this a second, it's interesting to do something nuts like build a truck like this and and it's not special that it's high horsepower. There's what, millions of trucks, not millions, but there's thousands of trucks with more power, or as much power. Yeah. There's a Roush in every town. There's not the same level of detail and customization that we've done. And I get it, mods are not for, you know, a mod is a mod for a reason. You didn't like the way it looked stock that everybody else had, so you wanted it tailored.
You gotta be different.
So we did some stuff that was, I guess, ultra tailored. What's been interesting is you know, you've had two extremes. You've had a lot of people who love it and comment on everything and share the stuff for us. If you share our stuff, it really helps because it puts it out to a whole new audience that we don't have to like fight to get it in front of. And that's awesome. We love you guys. There's also been a group, and they're not watching right now, but what do we call those people?
Haters.
So haters help us too, because they do start dialogue sometimes, but it's very interesting to me that we can do something like some big crazy burnout and somebody say that sucks. And it's like, well, what's your YouTube channel? What are you doing? What are you putting out? Send us something, send us a picture of your piece of crap.
Well,
and
my 84 Chevrolet will lay down stripes bigger than that or whatever. It's like, really?
It ain't the same thing.
No.
So I'm not mad about it. It's been fun. We've gotten like even some private messages of people hating on our stuff. So
it's hilarious.
I want 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but it would be awesome to have 1 million haters, because I think if we have 1 million haters, we've probably got a couple million subscribers.
Yes, for sure.
So we're collecting haters. But we thank you guys for being a subscriber. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. All you got to do is search Backroad Driver on either one of those platforms, and you can kind of see the behind the scenes pictures. Sometimes there's short clips on there that don't make it to YouTube, so it's a little extra content. And a lot of times we'll post our videos there as well, so check that out. All right, last piece of business. We want to talk about the intro to this video. We love making the B-roll stuff. We love kind of dipping our toe in the cinematic stuff, and we've been working harder, upgrading our equipment, trying to get a little bit better. And that's something we don't talk about in a typical video, but that's what the show is for.
Let us know what you think about the new Burnout super slow-mo smoke ring
thingamajig.
Tell us what you think. Comment down below 1 to 10 on that footage. We can do lots more of that, get a little bit crazier with it.
Yep. We want to give you guys what you like.
It's pretty interesting that the tire spins around probably 4 or 5 times before it starts to smoke. Did you know that?
The more you know. Dun, 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 dun. All right, guys, that's all for us here on the Backroad Driver Show. Catch us in the next video. While you're at it, go ahead and watch. There's a couple playlists in the description. Watch some of our old stuff and get caught up. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.